Hello, are you here already? Well, wonderful. I'm so glad you could join us early for our special Opening Doors Gala pre-program. I'm Shay Cage, your host tonight. Thank you for inviting me into your home for a phenomenal evening as together we raise money to open more doors for individuals and families who've experienced homelessness. Grab some refreshments, find a cozy spot to enjoy the program, and start bidding on some of the fabulous auction items. I'll be back to check on you soon.
Hello, I'm Shelley Daly with Studio Distilling, a St. Paul grain to glass whiskey distillery and St. Paul neighbor of Emma Norton. We'd like to thank Emma Norton and its supporters for all the great work they're doing in the community. And what a better way to be celebrating and opening more doors than with a fresh cocktail. So we'd like to introduce to you this St. Paul Mule. This cocktail recipe and other great recipes can be found on our website at studiodistilling.com. To start, take a copper mug, fill it with ice, which I've already done, to which you add 2 ounces of Studio Distilling bourbon whiskey that I've pre-poured. Next, you add ½ ounce of fresh squeezed lime juice that I've pre-squeezed, and give it a good stir to make sure that it mixes up well. Next, top it off with ginger beer. Finally, add a fresh lime wedge to garnish. Cheers. Of course, if you'd like to open more doors to your palate, you could sub the whiskey for tequila to make a Jalisco mule. You could add rum to make a Caribbean mule, or vodka to make the original Moscow mule. Of course, we're always going to recommend whiskey. And if you'd like to have more fun with whiskey, we have an auction item, a tour and tasting for 10, and please make sure to bid generously. It's for a great cause. Be well, and thank you.
Hi again. If you are just joining us, welcome. I'm Shay Cage, your host tonight. We have a fabulous program coming up in just 10 minutes. So take your seats, grab a drink, cocktail or mocktail, and be ready to open more doors for women and families in our community. Don't forget to start bidding on the fabulous silent and auction items. All of the proceeds tonight help provide transformational housing for individuals and families in our community.
So in the past year, my life has changed drastically. Since I did my speech at the Open Doors last year, I have now graduated from Emma Norton's program. I got picked out of the Section 8 lottery to receive Section 8 housing. I also applied to PeersLink to be a PeersLink support specialist because I want to help women like me who've gone through the struggle. And so many things so many beautiful blessings have happened since last year. And I just feel like without Emma Norton growing through them, those opportunities would have never been possible. My journey with trying to find affordable housing was very strained. I spent 22 years pretty much of homelessness, bouncing back and forth, until I was able to get out of my addiction and get into treatment, and then I found sober living after that. But then I had a lot of barriers with still trying to find housing. Being a single woman, it's harder for us to find housing, and so I was in a really bad relationship in a bad spot, and I got out of that, and I was in a shelter for a while, and then on my sister's couch until Emma Norton called me. They were there with me every step of the way. If I needed to talk, if I needed to cry, if I needed to just get it out and be a part of it, they were there with me every step of the way, asking me how they could help me, how they could support me through the journey. And I was so happy that I had that support team behind me, that I knew that with this support team, I can do this. I can really do this. My self-confidence was boosted knowing that I had that, knowing that I had people that I could talk to that were there for me genuinely and that cared for me. So when I was at Emma Norton, I think I was about 6 months in. And then I was told that there was a housing manager, and I thought, what, a housing manager? Let me check it out. So I went down there and I talked to the housing manager, and we started going over things, and he asked, what do you want in life? You know, do you want to get an apartment? Because right now, you know, we can get you in and try to figure it out. And I was like thrilled, and I didn't know if I was ready for it, you know? And so I remember the day we sat down in the office and the housing manager said to me, "What do you want in an apartment?" I said, "An apartment." He said, "Do you want anything special?" I said, "Ceiling fans are cool, maybe a balcony." So the first apartment he took me to look at had everything that I asked for. I'm almost gonna cry, sorry. It had everything that I asked for and then more. And so I wasn't sure with my background if I was going to be able to get that apartment through Norton, and I did. And so they called me down and they told me, they were like, "You got the apartment, you get to move in." And I knew right then and there, that's, my life is about to start now. Like, I came out of the darkness and my life is about to start. My goals going forward, I really want to complete the Peers Link to Hope training, which I actually got accepted, so I'll be starting training hopefully in August. And I'd like to be a Peer Link support specialist for Norton. I feel like that's where my future is, and I feel like that's what I'm supposed to be doing in life, helping women and giving back, doing those things, because I was one of those women and I was there at one point in time, and I know what they're going through, and I just want to help them. I just would like to say to anybody who, you know, is watching this and sees this, that without places like Norton, for women like me, we wouldn't have the opportunities that we have if it wasn't for places like Norton. And I'm just so grateful for Norton's program and everything that it brings.
Norton provides stability and growth for women and families who have experienced homelessness and the added challenges of chemical dependency, mental health, or both. Having a safe, affordable home is more important than ever during the COVID-19 pandemic. You'll help provide transformational housing to more than 300 individuals and children in the Twin Cities this year. Your gift will also help open more doors and build for the future with a new Norton residence in St. Paul.
Welcome to the Opening Doors Gala 2020, our first ever virtual gala. We are so happy to have you join us tonight from wherever you are in our state and beyond. I'm Shay Cage, your host tonight. I'm a Twin Cities artist, actor, and activist, and I'm so honored to have you join us on this fine evening. Remember to keep bidding on auction items throughout the night. All auctions will close at 8:30 p.m. sharp. We know that having a stable, affordable home is more important than ever, both due to the global pandemic and as we seek to create true equality and justice for our community. We also know that homelessness and health disparities affect communities of color at a much higher rate. Emma Norton seeks to reduce these disparities and provide transformational housing to all on their journey of recovery. Thank you for being part of this vital mission. For those of you new to Emma Norton, the organization ensures that hundreds of individuals and families who have experienced homelessness and the additional challenges of chemical dependency, mental health, or chronic health condition have a safe, supportive, and affordable home from which to grow and to thrive. In 2019, Emma Norton served more than 300 formerly homeless individuals and children in their 2 housing facilities, Emma Norton Residence in downtown St. Paul and Emma's Place in Maplewood, and through their new scattered site housing program and SOAR program, serving people throughout the community. The organization's youth programming served more than 60 children and youth throughout vital after-school programming and enrichment activities. We have an inspirational program tonight, and you will hear from Bishop Bruce O., Executive Director Tanya Brownlow, and several women who call Emma Norton home. A huge thanks to you. A huge thank you to Elizabeth, who spoke in the pre-program. She has recently graduated from the Scattered Site Housing Program and is living on her own in the community thanks to stability and empowerment she gained from Emma Norton. What you might not know is that Emma Norton has been providing stability for women for over 100 years in St. Paul, founded in 1917 by a United Methodist woman named Emma Norton from Winona, Minnesota. The organization has continued to have strong support from the United Methodist community. To that end, I now have the pleasure of introducing Bishop Bruce O. Bishop O is the resident bishop of the Dakotas, Minnesota area of the United Methodist Church, where he served since 2012. He serves on numerous boards and was recently named Distinguished Alum for Garrett Evangelical Theological Seminary. He is married to Charlene O, and they are the proud parents of 3 sons and 7 grandchildren. Both Char and Bishop O have been steadfast supporters and advocates for Emma Norton. Please help me welcome Bishop O for a special blessing this evening.
Thank you, Shay, for the warm introduction. Friends and partners of Emma Norton, Char and I are pleased to be able to join you in this very first virtual gala and greet you in the name and spirit of the risen Christ, in whom we have abundant life and grace. The world has changed since April 23rd, when we would have normally gathered for our annual Opening Doors Gala at the Intercontinental in St. Paul. We have been driven to our computer screens and social distancing by the coronavirus pandemic. And we have been driven to our knees in anguish and repentance by the George Floyd killing and the renewed cries to dismantle racism in all our institutions. These new normal events have given me more than pause. They have been profoundly deep spiritual experiences. I am more aware than ever before of my privileged place in our society. I've never had to fear encounters with the police, and my personal experiences of bigotry were limited to being considered oil field trash because my father worked for an oil exploration company in northwest North Dakota. Perhaps more significantly, I've never had to worry about having shelter, a place to live, a safe residence, a home. One of my favorite hymns when growing up was Rock of Ages, Cleft for me, let me hide myself in thee. I've always had a place to hide, a cleft in the rock that I could retreat to for protection, security, comfort, nurture, and renewal. When we were ordered to shelter in place to flatten the curve of the rapidly spreading coronavirus, I didn't have to give it a second thought. I knew where I would be safe and secure. I have been grateful. But I've also come to appreciate that it is a privilege to be able to shelter in place. From its inception, Emma Norton Services has made it possible for single women, single-parent families, and homeless individuals and families to shelter in place, to know the security and safety of having a cleft in the rocks, a residence in the storms, a home in the pandemics of life, a refuge from harm, abuse, and violence. And this is the very mission we all said yes to when we became followers of Jesus. Remember these words? Then those who are righteous will reply to him, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you drink? When did we see you as a stranger and welcome you, or naked and give you clothes to wear? When did we see you sick or in prison and visit you? And then the king will reply, I assure you that when you have done it for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you have done it for me. Shar and I invite you to join us and the entire Emma Norton staff and community to generously support this vital ministry of opening doors to our brothers and sisters who need a cleft in the rock. Let us be sure that having a place to shelter is not restricted to the privileged, but a fundamental right of every one of God's beloved children. I leave you with these words from Revelation as paraphrased by Eugene Peterson in The Message. May this be our blessing for our gala this evening. Look, God has moved into the neighborhood, making his home with men and women. They're his people. He's their God. He'll wipe away every tear from your eyes. Death is gone for good. Tears are gone, crying gone, pain gone. Look, I'm making everything new. Friends, let's make everything new for all of God's children. May it be so. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Bishop O, for your special blessing for this evening. I also want to thank our event sponsors, the virtual table sponsors, auction donors, and everyone who has tuned in tonight to help support Emma Norton and the women and families they support. Without you, there is no Opening Doors Gala. Next to the stage is Executive Director Tanya Brownlow. Tanya has been leading Emma Norton for over 6 years and working to end homelessness in our community for more than 2 decades. She received the Visionary Leader Award by the Minnesota Council of Nonprofits in 2019. Welcome, Tanya.
Thank you, Shay, for being here tonight and for all that you bring to the arts in our community and your warm introduction. Welcome, everyone, to the Opening Doors Gala. Thank you for joining us in our first virtual event. This gala is a reimagined and innovative version of our traditional annual gathering. I want to thank our board members, Opening Door Committee members, event sponsors, table sponsors, and all of you for making tonight possible. The platform may be different, and we dearly miss seeing and reconnecting with all of you in person, but the safety of our donors, staff, and residents is a top priority. We are excited that more of you can join from all corners of the state and beyond. No matter what brings you to support Emma Norton, your faith, your passion for social justice, or your commitment to making the world a better, safer place for women and children, we are so thankful you are here with us tonight. Our world and our communities are in crisis and pain as we grapple with racism, violence, isolation, and uncertain futures caused by this pandemic. Our eyes have been opened to the privileges and the inequities experienced by different groups of people in our world. COVID-19 has laid bare the reality that those with a stable home have a higher degree of safety during this pandemic as they can physically shelter in place. It has also borne out that as a group, people of color have disproportionately higher infection and death rates than white people. These inequities are due to structural racism in America that left communities of color with poor and physical and economic health. The physical spaces that we live in, whether it be a neighborhood defined by a zip code or a homeless shelter that forces people into tightly packed congregate living, has become one of the greatest determinants of health outcomes. Everyone in our programs, which again are disproportionately represented by people of color, have disabling health conditions. It's been proven many times over that health outcomes are directly related to experiencing trauma and living in poverty, meaning those we serve have higher rates of diabetes, heart disease, asthma, and other conditions. These conditions are markers of a higher risk group that could contribute to a person dying from contracting COVID-19. People in our programs that are employed typically occupy the frontline positions that put themselves and their family members at greater risk of becoming infected. All have had to make difficult choices of continuing to work or staying home to protect themselves. And for families to deal with the greater responsibility of caring for children who are distance learning and in need of increased supervision. Yet it has been said that where there is great suffering, there is also great love. And at Emma Norton, over the last 4 months, we have seen the incredible things we can achieve when we come together as a community. Your responsiveness has provided donated food for families, masks for staff and clients, and generous contributions to our Stay at Home Minnesota campaign to help us cover the extra costs of supporting residents in this time of extra need. As we work to keep people safe during this pandemic, the focus isn't only on keeping people in housing where they can shelter in place, but that people also have access to food, medical support, and technology that connects them to healthy support networks and critical mental health services. At our Emma Norton residence, where people live in communal spaces with shared rooms and other community spaces, we are spending more on additional cleaning services and have implemented all of the recommended protocols to sanitize doorknobs, light switches, and heavily trafficked areas every hour. Additionally, staff complete a health screen with each resident every 24 hours to identify and isolate anyone who may need to quarantine. At Emma's Place, the staff are continuing to help families adjust to distance learning and keeping youth programming in place safely. They have innovated their services from mixing groups of kids by age to implementing our new social and emotional learning curriculum with each sibling group from individual families. This is an immense help as kids need a safe outlet to deal with their own stress of what's happening in the world. And we are making progress on our full-scale renovation of the townhomes, where over half the units have now been completed, and we are on our way to being finished later this fall with the entire project. It will be complete with new green space, a half-court basketball court, and areas for kids to play and gather safely. Yet, with all that we accomplish and achieve today, we are not staying in place. We are moving towards building for a future to promote healing and wholeness for all. Emma Norton residents continues to age and take more resources to maintain, where funds could be spent to produce better outcomes and more programs to best meet the needs of women and families who have experienced homelessness and trauma. For us, the future holds a new building where more people would have new studio apartments, including their own private bathroom and kitchen, with ample space for community gatherings and group activities that could incorporate more volunteers and allies for our work. This building will be a part of the beautifully, intentionally designed Ford site in St. Paul, which offers access to nature in a walkable, inclusive community with transportation and services that will be overall an improvement to the current downtown site. A special campaign is coming, and we hope you will be part of honoring our past while building for our future over the next 3 years as we seek to open more and better doors for all. Your gifts tonight not only impact and improve the lives of over 300 women, families, and children, but it sets the stage for us to achieve a future where we not only serve more, but in a better, more holistic and trauma-informed way. John Rockefeller once said, "Think of giving not as a duty, but as a privilege." I encourage you tonight, as you listen to the impactful stories of what having a stable home and place to live can do to transform an individual or family's life, to give deeply, to honor the privilege and bounty that you have in this world. Thank you for listening and being a part of our community. Now I have the pleasure of announcing this year's award winners, organizations and individuals who have gone above and beyond in service and dedication to Emma Norton. This year's Champion Award goes to Hamlin Church United Methodist for being a true champion for the women and families of Emma Norton. During this past year, Hamlin has stepped up on several fronts, including providing visibility and a generous financial donation from the Hamlin Dining Hall at the State Fair. Additionally, they hosted a special legacy giving luncheon last fall, provided gift cards, presents, and a holiday party for our scattered site housing residents and families, and provided flowers and cards for our Emma's Place moms for Mother's Day. When Emma Norton residence was potentially threatened by the social unrest after the murder of George Floyd, volunteers came within hours to board up our all-glass entrance to keep our residents safe and provided emergency supplies. Again and again, they answered our call for help. Thank you for being our Opening Doors Gala champion for 2020. To accept the award, please join me in welcoming Pastor Mariah Tolgard, a leader who is a great visionary with a huge heart.
Thank you, Tanya. On behalf of Hamlin Church, we are honored to accept this award. As a St. Paul congregation, we have been connected to Emma Norton for decades. Our partnership has been strong in large part thanks to the leadership of our United Methodist women. Our connection has grown even stronger in recent years as we have been able to find even more ways to serve together. In our faith tradition as United Methodists, we are called to do all the good we can. And I think that is why we are able to have such a meaningful partnership. Because you, the Emma Norton community, made up of wonderful people, talented executive leadership and staff, committed board members and volunteers and supporters, and amazing women and families, are also working to do all the good you can by standing for justice, caring for our neighbors, and working to build a better tomorrow. Emma Norton Services is an incredible blessing to our community, and we are honored to work alongside you and to celebrate with you tonight. Thank you, and God bless.
For many years, we have recognized an individual who has a long history of giving and volunteerism with the organization. This year, we are thrilled to present the award to Elizabeth Everett. Elizabeth became involved with Emma Norton residents when she volunteered in the spring of 1979 to be the Emma Norton representative for Metro East District of United Methodist Women. This led to 14 years on the Emma Norton board and to being elected the board president in 1992. She has continued to be a faithful volunteer and sustaining donor and currently serves on the Emma's Legacy Society Committee and is a Legacy Society donor herself. Please join me in thanking, honoring, and welcoming Elizabeth Everett to the stage.
In 1979, I volunteered to be the representative of Emma Norton Services to Metro East District United Methodist Women. At that time, some years there would be a deficit. So they planned to do garage sales, and that balanced the budget for the year. However, by the early 1990s, we were in a deep, very deep financial hole that we could not get out of. So as the newly elected president of Emma Norton Residence, I went to the residence one day and stood in the middle of the dining room. And I asked God, is this the end of our mission here, or is there more? And God replied, more. And about 2 years after that, we started planning for the 13 townhouses to be built in Maplewood, Emma's Place. And so, you see, there was more that came out of nothing. Out of that financial disaster, out came more. And it's been that way ever since. Even today, with all of the new plans, more mission to more people in more ways. I've always been very proud to be part of Emma Norton Services because they've always evolved, changed, and became available for critical assistance to women and children and their families and others as well. through the ages. As I accept this Heritage Award today, I want us to remember every one of the executive directors, all of the staff, all the board members, all the donors, and everyone who's ever asked God for prayers on our behalf. To remember them, because they are how we got to here today, and who we are today, and who we will be tomorrow. Thank you for this award. It is a great honor to be part of the heritage of Emma Norton Services.
Thank you, Tanya, and congratulations again to Hamlin Church and Elizabeth Everett. What fabulous stories of partnership and dedication. I would like to now introduce our auctioneer for the evening, Katie Imholt Gabriel of Flatabo Advancement. Katie grew up in central Minnesota, where even at a young age, you could see her working in her family's auction business. Along with the entire Flatabo Advancement team, she cares deeply about Emma Norton's mission and considers it a privilege to be here tonight. Please welcome Katie Imholt Gabriel.
Thank you, Shay. Tonight, we celebrate the accomplishments of the past year and honor you, the donors, volunteers, and partners who work to build the foundation for the programs and services that Emma Norton provides to more than 300 women and children each year. Individuals and children who need a safe, affordable, and supportive place to live. Individuals who are mothers, daughters, sisters, fathers, sons, brothers, friends, neighbors, just like you and me.
Who among us hasn't benefited from the help of another at some point in our lives, perhaps professionally, personally, or spiritually? Well, tonight is our chance to come together to thank our volunteers, our donors, and our staff for all you do, for the tireless support you lend to the women and families at Emma Norton. Together, we can and must open more doors for all.
Now comes the heart of our program as we get to hear from two women who call Emma Norton home. I will be back with you shortly to dive into our Fund and Eve and live auction. Thank you for being generous tonight to continue providing transformational housing for individuals and families like Martha and Tanya and her family.
Well, I was an active addict, and I went to 2 treatment centers, because I had lost my apartment and I didn't have anywhere to live and I couldn't be on the streets. So instead of doing one time at a treatment center, I did twice until I got into Emma Norton. And I've been there for 3 years. You know, most of the women are much younger than me. And I try to give good advice. Some of the girls and I, we took turns in cleaning the bathrooms, and then we got a new cook and he needed some help. And so I started serving. Being of service to others has always been a heart in my heart because I've been a nursing assistant for so many years and I have passion and giving. There is always somebody there when I need to talk to somebody. I mean, I don't just buzz off and be bothered with people because all my business ain't nobody's business. But when I really, really am in dire strait, there is somebody that I can talk to, and they'll help me out with whatever services that I may need. I want to get back into nursing because it's so much compassion that's needed out here. I mean, people are just throwing people away, you know, because they have a disease or whatever. But we're all human and we're all gonna die with something, or we're all gonna catch something, and we have to have compassion. And that's where my heart has always been since in my early 20s. Well, I think Emma Norton is a good place to get your head back together. You know, I mean, you know, we go through all kind of obstacles in life and we never know what's gonna hit us. You know, whether it be from something that we've done for ourselves or just life, because life happens. But Emma Norton is a very good place to come back and regroup.
The journey that got me to Emma's place was I was homeless for just about 3 years, trying to get into shelters, and housing with my income was totally out of the question. I mean, it's impossible to find anything with a large family on the budget that I had. And this time, a opportunity for me to move into Emma's Place, which is a townhouse complex in Maplewood, Minnesota, that houses large families, was opened and available, and the shelter asked me if I was willing to move there, and I was beyond thrilled. I had gotten the support I needed to move on to a home by myself. I did that in 2017. I was only in my home for 6 months. I had no income, no car, no money. I had no idea what I was gonna do or where I was gonna go. My thought was I was gonna be homeless with my children. Rhonda from Emma's Place, I had kept in contact with her over these months of me moving into my home. And she had gave me a phone call, and I was just didn't know what I was gonna do. I was crying on the phone. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I mean, with my income, I can't find housing. Where am I gonna go, me and my kids? And she said to me, well, why don't you come back here? And I'm getting the goosebumps even talking about it, because I'm like, are you serious? And she's like, well, what else are you gonna do, Tanya? It was a blessing in disguise. So I then, in 2018, moved back to Emma's Place. And I couldn't be more thankful for them. They have helped me in so many ways. I'm gonna cry. Hard as it was to come out about my addiction, they made it so easy and possible for me to do. They help tremendously with the kids. They have a very, very, very awesome staff. They don't have as much stress. You wouldn't think kids had stress or worries, but trust me, I have 9 kids and they do. And when you're in a position with so much support, it makes it easier for you and the kids also to, come to you with their stress and things that they worry about and what they go through. To the donors for Emma's Place, you are very, very much appreciated. And I want to let you know, as a tenant, a longtime tenant, that they put all the donations they get from you guys to very good use. For us as parents, as tenants, for our children, for support, it's truly a blessing.
Thank you, Martha and Tanya, for sharing your journey with us. And Tanya, you are definitely paying it forward by sharing your story tonight. Your stories are truly inspiring us all. Now is the time to dig deep and help end homelessness for individuals and families in our community. Emma Norton provides stability for over 300 individuals and children each year, and we are growing and building for the future, but we need your help. This is the moment we can make the biggest difference together. Now, more than ever in the current COVID environment, we have a greater appreciation for the value of a safe and affordable home and the ability to have access to much needed mental health programming. We are counting on you to help us hit our goal of raising $25,000 to support our residents. If we surpass our goal, we will be able to help transition more people into safe and secure housing. So please, I encourage you to dig really deep and make a gift that will have a long-lasting impact. I am excited to announce that we have 2 longtime donors and committee members who are stepping up to kick us off tonight with donations each of $2,500. Thank you to the Craigheads and the Vandervests for your leadership and dedication to Emma Norton services. I'd also like to thank Path of Grace UMC for stepping up with a $1,600 donation. Thank you for your commitment. I'm also delighted to share that board members and committee members have come together with a $10,000 match to encourage new and increased donations. Thank you to those board members and committee members for putting together a generous matching gift. Now it's your turn to decide what type of impact you are able to give tonight. Let's make use of that match. To make a donation tonight, click on the Fund a Need button on the event page and give at a level that is meaningful to you. You have the power to give the gift of home. Our scattered site housing program supports individuals and families moving into and maintaining stable living in an apartment in Ramsey County. For just $2,500, you can move a family into an apartment, paying for their security deposit and basic furniture to fill their new home. So please, dig deep, and at the $2,500 gift, you can make a direct impact to improving someone's life for the better. Or could you give $1,000? For only $1,000, you can inspire the 60 kids at Emma's Place with an educational field trip to the zoo, the science museum, or a local farm or nature conservatory. How about giving at the $500 level? A gift of $500 makes a huge impact. I encourage you to give right now. $500 pays for 2 months of 3 healthy meals daily for our residents. Or is $250 your lucky number? With a $250 gift, you can cover the basic household supplies for new residents or a family moving into our housing. With a $100 gift, you can help build community at Emma's Place by sponsoring a monthly birthday party. If just 12 people who are watching tonight donate $100, we will have paid for every single child at Emma's Place to have a special birthday celebration during their birthday month. Or could you spare $50? That's the normal ticket price for this event. Every single dollar makes a huge difference. If you haven't given yet, please consider giving the price of a ticket. I encourage you to give at any amount. Click that Fund a Need button and give generously. Every dollar you give counts. Together, with each of us giving what we can, I believe we can meet our Fund a Need goal of $25,000 tonight. Your generosity is more important now than ever before. Staying home is the key to stopping the spread of coronavirus, but too many in our community don't have a home to go to. The more we raise, the more families we can support. If we surpass our goal of $25,000 and raise $30,000, we will be able to provide housing for 2 more families. No matter what we raise, every dollar will be celebrated. Thank you for your generosity tonight. now it's time for one of the most exciting moments of the night, the live auction. Well, semi-live. Thank you to all of the businesses and individuals who have stepped up to donate auction items and experiences tonight. Make sure you take the time to check them all out. We have some one-of-a-kind opportunities for you to bid on, thanks to our generous donors and community supporters. Remember, the auction closes at 8:30, so do not forget to place your bids before it's over. Now, without any further ado, it's time to introduce the live auction items we have this year. So get your bidding fingers ready to go. The first auction item is a staycation package for the Mall of America. Take your family on a trip to the biggest mall in America with a 2-night hotel stay at Radisson Blu. This family fun package includes 2 all-day unlimited ride wristbands for Nickelodeon Universe, 2 passes for Moose Mountain or Rock of the Ages Blacklight Mini Golf, and a coupon book full of major deals. We're starting the bidding at $200, and it's a steal of a deal for 2 fun-filled days at the Mall of America. Did you know that the Mall of America is so big that it has its own zip code? Plenty of time for you to make use of this auction package. The Radisson Blu hotel stay does not expire, and you have until the end of next year for the wristbands and the golf. So get bidding. Next, we have a truly one-of-a-kind experience featuring the beauty of local nature and art, excellent food, and the opportunity to more personally connect with Emma Norton. The winner of this item will get to bring 7 of their friends to visit Mar Vineyard and Orchard in Maplewood, Minnesota, a 3-acre certified nature preserve. One of Emma Norton's newest board members, Cayenne Baden, will prepare a full-course dinner for you and your friends to enjoy along with Tanya Brownlow, the executive director, and Shauna Nelson-Wills, the advancement director. We're starting the bidding on this priceless evening with 3 important members of our team just at $500. This unique soiree will give you the special opportunity to get to know the humans behind the mission, ask questions, and of course, enjoy delicious food and wine. Now, we have a returning favorite item from last year, the Breckenridge Condo Rocky Mountain Vacation. Enjoy a 4-night stay for up to 6 people at this gorgeous condominium in Colorado, conveniently located near many miles of biking and hiking trails, as well as restaurants and shops on Main Street. Take a walk along the Blue River or just relax in the pool. However you like to relax, you can make your memories here. Bidding on this vacation starts just at $500. Thank you to Catherine Pickerel for opening their condo again to fellow Emma Norton supporters and donating to the Opening Doors auction. There's lots of flexibility to book this when you're ready to travel. Next up, we have a second familiar favorite. Join friends of Emma Norton and local award-winning author William Kent Kruger for lunch with 6 of your friends. Ask your burning questions about the Cork O'Connor series, get your book signed, and learn more about the inspirations and processes that go into creating your own favorite Minnesota mysteries. We're starting the bidding for this special opportunity at $300. Lunch will be at the North Oaks Country Club, hosted by longtime supporter Sandy Craighead. Be sure to get bidding on this item. Do you want to start a wine tasting club or take the one you already have with your friends to the next level? Our friends at Total Wine have donated a private wine tasting class for 20 people so you can learn how to pick and sip your wine like a pro. This class has a $500 value, but we're starting the bid today at just $200. Place your bids now and get ready to become an amateur sommelier you and your friends have always dreamed of becoming. There is a ton of flexibility on all of our semi-live auction items, so please bid generously and know that you can cash this item in when you're comfortable to do so. Get bidding. The auction will close at 8:30. Thank you all for your generosity in providing critical support to Emma Norton during a time of great need. To close our program, we are in for a transformational experience of our own. I welcome back our host, Shay Cage. Shay is a cultural worker, writer, performer, and activist who has been called a change maker, one of the leading artists of her generation, and a mover and maker. She has been seen as a leading lady on major stages, including the Penumbra and the Guthrie, a producer of feature films, and a director and writer of plays, and a recipient of Career Achievement Awards. But her proudest work is community healing and transformation through art. Please help me welcome back Shay.
A poem to the homeless. This is to the woman who does not ask for too much. Not very much at all. Her dreams quite small compared to others. A respite from the mean streets, the bitter cold, the curious stares that greet her each morning. She tucks beneath the halo of the awning, folds her blanket atop her feet, and makes herself small again, invisible if she could. This is for the woman who has just $100 short of last week's rent, who couldn't afford the raise in her meds. She was raised by two hardworking parents who knew how to turn coins into dollars. But these days, there's no space to catch up, catch a breath, catch a break. This is for the woman who is one day away from being the city's problem. She makes peace with her reality, finds a concrete home to pitch a tent. She talks to herself, and it talks back. Sings to the birds, and they talk back. You see, we stand on the backs of those who've touched the bottom of the ocean's floor, ride on the wings of butterflies to face our reflections in the mirror and smile. At daybreak, we walk the path of the chosen ones. We are majesty, manifested in female form, but we are far from Maybelline clean. Look in our eyes. You'll see what I mean. For we are stretch marks across women's bodies, histories tracing back to sacred ancestries. We are glass houses, and like antiqued mirrors, we hold stories and broken blue-black, high yellow, butter toasted amber stories between these lips.
Thank you, Shay, for that powerful performance and for being a fabulous host tonight. Thank you again to our board members, Opening Doors Gala committee members, our event sponsors, table sponsors, and to all of our partners and donors who joined us and gave generously tonight. Your gifts will make a major difference in the lives of individual and families we serve. Thank you for your gifts of time and resources. We hope to be able to gather in person again soon.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight and for your incredible generosity for Emma Norton. Remember to keep bidding and giving until auctions close tonight at 8:30. Please help us reach and exceed our goal. Together in community, we can transform the lives of women, families, and our world. We are stronger together. Thank you and good night.
my north side. I love my south side. I love my St. Paul. I just love y'all. I love my north side. I love my south side. I love my St. Paul. I just love y'all. And it's at these times my heart opens up to hear the ground. Not too many seeds are being planted anymore. Fertile ground needs to be found. Power elders, power people, power youth. Yes, the ears of my heart are to the ground, feeling the message vibrations. Our souls, quiet communication, as eyes deeper than wells hold the true tales of the hell behind the land of Oz, America's veils. And who feels it knows it, y'all. From the north side to the south side to St. Paul. Power elders, struggling elders, my deep elders, beyond time elders, bittersweet, sometimes always upset elders, saddened cause things ain't changed yet and appear to be getting worse. I love my north side. I love my south side. I love my St. Paul. I just love y'all. Power people, power to you, power people, us, I, we, young adults. Tell me what will be the results if we do not look deep within to see why we came from them African folk. And trying to deny who you are makes life seem like one painful riddle. And you can't laugh about something you really know nothing about. Freedom, love, and strength, I figure, can come from just trying to figure it out. But we like to run our mouth. We like to run our mouth. We like to run game. All the while being weighted down by so much pain. We gotta give it up, y'all, and quit playing. We got much more to gain. Yes, y'all. I love my north side. I love my south side. I love my St. Paul. I just love y'all. And it's at these times my heart opens up to hear the ground. Not too many seeds are being planted anymore. Fertile ground needs to be found. Power children, power babies. Ooh. Sent here as proof that there is something larger than us. Now, how you gonna tell your baby, don't do what I do, when all day they hear you fuss and cuss? They are the seed and the soul. They are the future and the past. they are the soul seed in little bitty big bodies, bouncing balls of light, born with the wisdom of life. Babies, beacons of the future that we're seeking. Unless it's lies, we keep on teaching. I said, unless it's lies, we keep on teaching. Yeah. Feel it, y'all. Feel it, y'all. I love my north side. I love my south side. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love my St. Paul. I just love y'all. I just love y'all. I love my north side. Yeah, yeah. I love my south side. Yeah, yeah. I love my St. Paul. I love my St. Paul. I just love y'all. 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 Yeah, 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 yeah. I just love y'all. I just love y'all.
So in the past year, my life has changed drastically. Since I did my speech at the Open Doors last year, I have now graduated from Emma Norton's program. I got picked out of the Section 8 lottery to receive Section 8 housing. I also applied to PeersLink to be a PeersLink support specialist because I want to help women like me who've gone through the struggle. And so many things have so many beautiful blessings have happened since last year. And I just feel like without Emma Norton growing through them, those opportunities would have never been possible. My journey with trying to find affordable housing was very strained. I spent 22 years pretty much of homelessness, bouncing back and forth, until I was able to get out of my addiction and get into treatment, and then I found sober living after that. But then I had a lot of barriers with still trying to find housing. Being a single woman, it's harder for us to find housing, and so I was in a really bad relationship in a bad spot, and I got out of that, and I was in a shelter for a while, and then on my sister's couch until Emma Norton called me. They were there with me every step of the way. If I needed to talk, if I needed to cry, if I needed to just get it out and be a part of it, they were there with me every step of the way, asking me how they could help me, how they could support me through the journey. And I was so happy that I had that support team behind me, that I knew that with this support team, I can do this. I can really do this. My self-confidence was boosted knowing that I had that, knowing that I had people that I could talk to that were there for me genuinely and that cared for me. So when I was at Emma Norton, I think I was about 6 months in. And then I was told that there was a housing manager, and I thought, what, a housing manager? Let me check it out. So I went down there and I talked to the housing manager, and we started going over things, and he asked, what do you want in life? You know, do you want to get an apartment? Because right now, you know, we can get you in and try to figure it out. And I was like thrilled, and I didn't know if I was ready for it, you know? And so I remember the day we sat down in the office and the housing manager said to me, what do you want in an apartment? I said, an apartment? He said, do you want anything special? I said, ceiling fans are cool, maybe a balcony. So the first apartment he took me to look at had everything that I asked for. I'm almost gonna cry, sorry. It had everything that I asked for and then more. And so I wasn't sure with my background if I was going to be able to get that apartment through Emma Norton, and I did. And so they called me down and they told me, they were like, you got the apartment, you get to move in. And I knew right then and there, that's, my life is about to start now. Like, I came out of the darkness and my life is about to start. My goals going forward, I really want to complete the Peers Link to Hope training, which I actually got accepted, so I'll be starting training hopefully in August. And I'd like to be a Peer Link support specialist for Emma Norton. I feel like that's where my future is, and I feel like that's what I'm supposed to be doing in life, helping women and giving back, doing those things, because I was one of those women and I was there at one point in time, and I know what they're going through, and I just want to help them. I just would like to say to anybody who, you know, is watching this and sees this, that without places like Emma Norton, for women like me, we wouldn't have the opportunities that we have if it wasn't for places like Emma Norton. And I'm just so grateful for Emma Norton's program and everything that it brings.
Hello, I'm Shelley Daly with Studio Distilling, a St. Paul grain to glass whiskey distillery and St. Paul neighbor of Emma Norton. We'd like to thank Emma Norton and its supporters for all the great work they're doing in the community. And what a better way to be celebrating and opening more doors than with a fresh cocktail. So we'd like to introduce to you this St. Paul Mule. This cocktail recipe and other great recipes can be found on our website at studiodistilling.com. To start, take a copper mug, fill it with ice, which I've already done, to which you add 2 ounces of Studio Distilling bourbon whiskey that I've pre-poured. Next, you add ½ ounce of fresh squeezed lime juice that I've pre-squeezed, and give it a good stir to make sure that it mixes up well. Next, top it off with ginger beer. fresh lime wedge to garnish. Cheers. Of course, if you'd like to open more doors to your palate, you could sub the whiskey for tequila to make a Jalisco mule. You could add rum to make a Caribbean mule, or vodka to make the original Moscow mule. Of course, we're always going to recommend whiskey. And if you'd like to have more fun with whiskey, we have an auction item, a tour and tasting for 10, and please make sure to bid generously. It's for a great cause. Be well, and thank you.
Thank you.